Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So, today will be a bit different than what we usually do these days. It's not
We're not doing a movie.
It's not, a TV program.
It is
a
documentary.
A documentary-type TV series of sorts.
Why is it so? Because Eli Roth is involved with it. Aha.
Yeah, He plays the main host, or one of the main hosts.
Yeah.
So this production is called, or documentary is called, Eli's History of Horror.
Eli's or Eli Roth's History of Horror?
Eli Roth's History of Horror, which was released in 2018.
Well, started, and there's three seasons between 2018 to 2021. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
But 19 episodes, memory.
Mm-hmm. It's a different series that we've I know we've covered the one about the things that happen in your neighborhood type documentary biodrama.
Yeah, crap.
One we did that. We did that one.
Yeah, the crap.
But this one is more to do with the fictional horrors you encounter in the movies and whatnot.
Yes.
And this is not only going to cover the small topics like vampires, werewolves, and
evil children. I got two of those. I come and see them on the weekend.
We also have natural disasters, which is a horror in itself when you think about it.
Tsunamis, tidal waves, earthquakes, blah, blah, blah.
Yes. And sometimes they even also mention pandemics, like viruses. Like the one thing that's mostly scarier than something you can't see. And you can't think quite easily.
Viruses, that stuff.
Yes. Of course there's aliens here, a little bit here and there. But most of the time, these ones would cover the stuff that goes way back, like the 80s and the 70s, that don't give you a very long example or explanation of why this happened.
Whatever.
Well, most of these movies in the old 80s and 70s, they never go deep into the story.
No, there wasn't much of a backstory. I mean, they said, hey, look, is it arachno or arachnophobia? One of those little movies. At least they went out to some jungle and some really potent spider got into a coffin or something or other, and they brought it back to United States. And they got out of the coffin and bred with the local spiders. Mm-hmm. At least a bit of a backstory, that sort of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what can we say about this one? It has some interesting facts, guys, including some stuff that like certain movies I never bothered to actually watch, but got me thinking of watching.
We may have to.
Which is where I brought up Holocaust, Cannibal Holocaust. That's where this is documentary, thanks to it, was able to open my mind and actually go and actually watch it. And of course, Eli's in it, and a lot of other famous, famous actors, producers, directors, writers, and reviewers.
And they're all discussing these different genres.
The same genre or different genres of horror.
That's not the right word. It's one genre, but different aspects of it. Yeah, sub-genres. How's that? Yeah, genre, horror, subgenre, creepy kids. Yeah.
They do mention different sorts of topics, like
Why don't you give them an example thereof? That would be really nice.
One of them was dealing with the slasher, genre, obviously, and how it affected, our film culture, obviously, and how in the 80s they kind of took a break because they got complaints in that complaint department, but if they got so many complaints, why are so many people re-renting the movies or VHS tapes to this day?
Exactly.
I get non-stop comments about people going about and saying, "Oh, I rented this movie. It's really horrific and great to watch."
So you have to go see it so you can complain about it. There you go.
Yes. Yeah, it's an ongoing thing where people, a genre like slasher movies like that would just disappear in the 70s or the 80s.
So sad.
And then it reappears many years later when the culture that kind of accepts this sort of thing because people are longing for it.
We got Freddy Krueger and we had Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees strutting their stuff, having a wonderful time killing people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there were quite a few that independent ones that kind of developed its own audience base,
Yeah.
which is why so many of them got such a big fan base, and some are trying to reinvent the wheel by returning.
Exactly.
Like the like that one I told you guys about, the Mutilator. He came back, and well, I won't go into details about that one. Anyway, most of the other stuff is usually they do dive into very deeply into the topics mostly, like how like dealing with witches or dealing with demons or demon possession, because and all that stuff. It goes very into the deep into the bone when it comes to the bone marrow in this case.
Your bone marrow.
Well, that's what I mean. It goes really deeply into the subject.
Exactly.
It's not just the
bad of the bone.
Are you finished?
George Thorogood. There you go.
Also in the aside from Eli Roth being in the host, there is a lot of reoccurring people who get talked to or talked at.
Or pass the comments.
Yeah, like Rob Zombie, who's a famous muso, is also in it.
Also a filmmaker.
Yes, a filmmaker too, in his own right. And we got, let me see, a lot of other famous filmmakers who have not graced the silver or the casting couch in ages, obviously, but they have interesting stories to tell, like the guy who, from Cannibal Holocaust, who kind of sit on the couch and talked about how he was not praised for his effort when he worked on the movie.
Yeah, because they were a little bit too
judgmental. I could understand that.
No, you just mentioned Zombie Holocaust. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of
Cannibal Holocaust.
I mean Cannibal Holocaust. There was a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, it did.
They actually killed real animals on screen.
Yes.
And everything else.
And it got people questioning whether human
they actually murdered some people on screen too. So there's a few problems with that one.
Yeah, caused issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the 80s and 70s they were so sensitive that they just wanted to can stuff left in life.
Good. Yeah.
And of course, certain other horror movies like the slashers and possibly the ones that deal with, I think there was one that comes to mind called sexual horror. Or whatever they call it, where you do a little bit of nudity and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but suggestive horror, mostly stuff. It's really, well, it kind of comes off artistic sometimes. Other times it comes off as grotesque to some members of the public, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's that sexual one. That one, that girl whose vagina had teeth.
That was disgusting.
That would come under probably sexual horror.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It did.
Yucky.
Yeah. So there's suggestion horror to that sort of thing, which does explain a little bit more in depth. Obviously, there's also ones where, like, the psychic horrors, people with psychic powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of, I don't know when it originated originally, but I think that when it came more serious, I think it was when Carrie's, horror movies started getting a little bit more, wanted to dive into that type of genre, the psychic powers stuff side to it.
Exactly.
And this kind of brought forward all the other psychic-related books, like stuff like that. Kind of, comes off very dark, and sometimes there's a bad ending, and sometimes it comes a twisty ending.
That was probably the best one. But you had Firestarter, that little girl who could start fires with a brain, that sort of stuff. And
you also have Jennifer, which is
what was that one?
Oh, it's about a girl who was able to use her mind powers to communicate with snakes, and she gets her just revenge on bullies at her school who were picking on her and teasing her.
You got some little snakes?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like
snakes.
Yeah, it comes off really dark and, a little creepy, obviously. Of course, they do mention the odd black and white silent film here and there, because that's where most of these filmmakers, the old ones, got their most inspiration from.
Exactly.
Obviously. Anyway, I don't have very much information about this episode.
We can't go on and on.
We can't go on about it because it goes in. I mean, it doesn't have. It has different genres to discuss, and I'm not going to read them in order because that would take.
And then we go on and on and on, and they go all night. So what
The
are we
point
going
is
to...
mostly that you have to watch
This is gonna be
them
really
to
short,
actually
yeah.
enjoy it, guys.
Now, the problem is, I think a documentary, you can't tell the whole documentary, but what we can do is discuss a few genres, maybe. Eli Roth raised like scary children.
That one pretty interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that particular genre has been around for quite a long time. Like dealing like the sort of the
What was the one?
evil son one, obviously. What's it called? The good son. That's
Good son. But going back to that black and white, the turn of the screw.
Yeah, the
What's it called?
The turn of the screw you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
That one deals with haunted possession.
Yeah, the book had a different name to the movie. Actually, Deborah Paget was in it, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's really good about these two kids in an old manor house, and how the governess goes there, and I think the two kids have been possessed by the dead governess and the dead groundskeeper or something or other, and there was a sort of love affair being sort of reenacted through the kids. They were very, very tight and close, and they'll drive in the governess to a bit of madness and distraction, and in the end she ended up killing the two children, wasn't it?
No,
Remember?
it's not.
No.
You got the wrong end. She suspected the ghosts haunting the children and using them
someone
as...
died.
Yeah, the little boy.
Died,
after
yeah.
admitting that he does see these spirits, and somehow once he finally admitted this, he kind of died. And I don't know what happens to the governess, because some people claim that she went to be sent to a mental institution. Others said that she was trialed and sentenced to, be hanged.
It left it hanging at the end. She just left the mansion, the estate, whatever.
This is back in the 1800s or 1900s, back to the time when if you commit a crime, no matter how vile, you will probably be sentenced to death or something worse.
Yeah, death or something worse.
Well, you could be trial. You could go to prison, or if it's murder, no doubt the penalty for murdering someone in the first or second degree. You end up being in that
you might get executed
position.
Or permanent shower duty.
Yeah, and there's also those other ones, like, I don't know, the creepy ones that deal with weird poisons. Where I remember this one movie where it deals with these kids on a bus and they get poisoned by this plant, either the power plant, whatever, a leaking plant, and it causes them to turn into zombie creatures. And
I haven't seen this one.
They have you can identify them because of their black fingernails and their dark. I mean, I don't know what the other thing that you can identify them. I think but every time you touch them or they hug you, they kind of send it sort of. The kids are sort of have an acid touch, if that's a term. Like a sort of poison ivy. If you get too close, you might catch it.
Okay, right. Okay, this is going to be really hard going for different things, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's that other one called Evil Seed one, obviously. The one that deals with a creepy girl. This was back many years ago,
the Bad Seed, I think.
Yeah, the Bad Seed, where it deals with...
back in the 50s or something.
Yeah, it was back in the 50s, long before any of the other horrors that deal with
she's a
creepy
nice
children.
little looking, pretty little girl who is want everything, and she killed people. She killed a gardener and a little old lady. She killed a little
girl too.
Yeah, killed a little girl because she wanted what they had.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want that thing. I like your doll, so I'll kill you and I'll get the doll. And yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I remember this other one that's about three good kids that were born on the same day, and somehow it has something to do with the sort of an eclipse of the moon or something.
Okay.
And it has something to do with the fact that they developed no empathy for other people.
Well, I need to get into the kids and everything, because you also got on that the Village of the Damned and that.
There's
sort of
Village of the Damned, and there's the what's that other one called?
Which one?
not the Children of the Damned, but I know it's this one is dealing with the kids who have radioactive bodies.
I think We Are the Damned. I think
We Are the Damned.
Yeah. And you got those sort of things that okay.
Yeah.
Creepiness, good story built around it. Not quite horror, but interesting. And you go, okay.
Yeah.
You start wondering, could this be true? Actually, some of the drama-y type ones, which aren't quite horror, have a sense of reality about them, makes it a bit more scary.
That's what's really scary, guys. I mean, if it's more of drama than horror, then it feels like you're part of the story.
You get drawn into it. Go, okay, well, this one happened one day. I like the Third Twin. Where they cloned those eggs and fertilised 3 different women.
Boys.
And then they found it was actually more than 3. You know, and what was the other one there? The Hitler one, the boys from Brazil.
Oh, yeah, that one.
They were cloning copies of Adolf Hitler and orchestrating their lives to grow up in the same way, same sort of social economic climate, same sort of parent situation of jobs and whatever. And the father was killed off the same time Hitler's was to give him the same sort of
The one problem with that
pattern.
particular movie, Mike, was that aside from killing the boy's father, there's also the fact they might have different upbringings and stuff.
No, they try to put them in families where they get the similar upbringing. That's what I just said.
I know, but...
And that one there, where that old man went to the site, that old Jewish man went there to see his boy, he was an evil little boy. And he was, he was not very nice. And he could have been a nice clone of, you know who.
Yeah, another one, I think... which was a modern day movie, which I've told Mike this one about what's happening with Kevin. This one was more of a drama one, I
don't know the one else.
Well, it came out. I kind of watched it recently, not too long ago. It's about this psychotic. It's a psychotic kind of drama, if that's a term, where this mother who gave birth to her son, and all suddenly. He doesn't interact with her really well because her maternal instincts doesn't kick in. She doesn't feel any love attraction to her child, like, motherly wise. And he in turn gives off a negative, vibe when he's around her. But when he's with his father, it's normal. He's like he's the normal, what you consider normal with around children wise. But when he's with his mother, it goes on for like this for until he's 16. Then one day he takes some bike locks that he bought on eBay or Amazon, locks the kids in the gym, and uses bow and arrow and kind of killed them all with the arrow.
Nice.
Of course, he gets placed in prison. He goes to jail, and everyone blames the mother because both her husband and her own other daughter, whom she developed a bond with, they both die. They got an arrow in the back or on the chest, and. At this point in the time, the mother was sort of no longer in a good relationship with her husband because he was always not seeing that her son got serious problems, and wouldn't see it for himself. He considers he was an okay kid, but didn't realize that maybe something was wrong with him.
We got weird kids. How about Damien?
True. There's Damien too.
Yeah.
Now there's the demonic kid, obviously, that you have to be aware of.
Devil's spawn, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there, as I said before, there's many subjects and topics, and each episode is kind of sticks to that topic in each of their individual episodes. They don't drift from a different subject to another.
It's all centered around a particular thing. The children, or witches, or something or other,
or vampires,
slasher, or vampires,
or monsters.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, which monsters? That's a big genre.
King of Monsters, Godzilla. There you go.
Who's that?
But the thing, all the other ones I had.
True.
You had Godzilla. You had King Kong. Okay.
That's what they call it. They call it body horror. That's it.
What's that one? That's where
That's the one with dealing with nudity and a bit of porno
mutilations and stuff
like that. The usual stuff. That's what I'm thinking. Like they just call it body horror stuff. I mean, there's some other. They also discuss other topics, not just monsters, vampires, and stuff. As I said, they also just go into detail into psychotic type horror too.
Psychotic, okay.
Well, the kind that does not has weirdness.
Heads. Yeah.
Yes, like Psycho as an example, obviously,
that's a good one,
which
yeah.
started
Very
the
good.
whole slasher horror thingy-wing.
Actually, it was the granddaddy of them. That started off changing the style of movies way back then. So, we got away with that one.
Oh, yes.
And other people said, hey, we can do something. Mm-hmm. Let's try something. And Alfred left the legacy when he did Psycho.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm kind of glad that stuck around for so many years.
I still enjoy watching.
I think
the
that's
first
probably
movie.
it probably was pretty much what you said, the foundation for other horrors. And I don't understand why so many people.
It's a bit of a quantum leap. It's like in music and in music, movies, TV programs. Someone steps out and say, "I'm going to try something different," and it's a risk. Mm-hmm. And what happens then is, depending on how that risk is received, the market will go in that direction, or it'll be a dead end street. Now, remember that movie TV program, The Haunted? I was chasing for years and years. I've talked about it before. Mm-hmm. That was made in 1964 as a pilot for a TV series. Mm-hmm. They made the pilot, and the production company, TV, whatever, said, "Oh, it's not going in the right direction, so we'll can it." All right, but to save money, we'll put some extra footage together and make it into a movie.
Yeah, they also mentioned ghosts and probably haunting houses. Obviously, like it also mentioned the what's that movie called? The what's that one about the thinking, what's that one about the lady who was a writer who was married to the man who wants her money from I don't know what's it called. I know it's called something.
Isn't helping.
It deals with a woman who's a writer who also sees ghosts.
No, I can't remember.
I know that one deals with ghosts who try to help her figure out what's going on, obviously, and she kind of figures out that her new husband and his sister have been sort of getting him married, getting money from their inheritance or whoever they inherited from, and killing the woman off, making it look like an accident, or not really an accident, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was an interesting one, and of course this one deals with they do mention about the haunted houses, like the haunting, like the house on Haunted Hill, obviously.
That was fun.
Stuff
the original one was fun, but the remake with Jeffrey Rush was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and the haunting, like the one with the lady who slowly drifted into gosh knows what, and the house was starting to creep around in a weird way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you had that. Yeah, the haunting. The original one or the remake?
The original one, I'm referring to.
Yeah, who was Claire Bloom in it? I think I can't remember. Yeah, that was really, really good. But
yeah,
she belonged there. She was related to the lady who died in the house.
That was the new one.
No, both stories.
No,
both. I think she's related.
Nope. You got it wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure it was in both stories.
Nope, it's not. Nope.
Mm.
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, Mike has got it incorrect.
I know it was in the second movie.
The remake, they wanted a connection, but in the remake, the original, they didn't have a connection. It just went in a different direction, and it didn't have any connections. Otherwise, it would have explored that fact, saying that she was related to him, but they weren't. They didn't add that part to it. Just that she made out that she's going crazy and ended up deciding to stay in the house. Dead.
Yes, and she was taken to the house with all the other dead spirits, blah, 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 blah. Still think I'm right. Anyway,
I'm still thinking that you're wrong.
Well, you have to go and check
As
people,
I said
won't you?
before, guys, most time in these movies, there's never a very
Sometimes
detailed explanation.
Yeah, sometimes in the older movies there wasn't much for backstory.
Yeah. They don't ever have a backstory. Some of them just think, oh, we'll just let the ghosts run wild, and hopefully the people either get out or they succumb to the ghosts.
Speaking about people knocking out, how about Rose Red, Stephen King job?
That's a good one. Oh yeah, I should mention, guys. They mentioned Stephen King a couple of times in this one.
Wasn't he interviewed?
Yes, he was
interviewed.
interviewed.
And
I think
or whatever.
his son Joe Hill might have been made a guest appearance in that too. I think.
But
and
as
I said before, there is also a few.
It's Quentin Tarantino, I think.
Yeah,
other people.
Tarantino. He made an appearance. There is quite. And a few famous actors like Jamie Lee Curtis makes a guest appearance.
And George Romero was there in spirit. I thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. Okay.
A lot of people that kind of remember him, like Tom Savini. I think Tom Savini came on board. I think he made his guest appearance.
Oh, I think so. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Considering
lots of people come into this series. Yeah.
Considering he was part of the whole.
Well, you got Savini, you got Greg Nicotero, and all these people. People more or less behind the scenes who help make the magic, and people forget about these guys.
Of course. I mean, a lot of times, people who watch movies, they forget about the person who works behind the camera or works behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, doing the makeup,
or doing the props, or designing the props, or the costumes.
Yeah, exactly. Like Greg Nicotero, he's been doing a lot of makeup for over the years, and I'm getting through an old series called The Walking Dead at the moment. Yeah. And he was the exec producer.
He was in this too. I forgot. My bad.
Greg
Nicotero. He made a guest appearance in this one too.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, in The Walking Dead, he might have been head of the makeup department, but he's also a guest producer.
He would also be in that zombie. When they were discussing zombies, he would have been there too. So he would be. Where they talked and discussed Dawn of the Dead, obviously, because I think that was when he and Tom Savini were more closer with George. I mean, I think Tom Savini has worked with George for all of them, obviously, as either an actor, either as a makeup person, or even one of the Zeds running around.
Well, yeah, why not?
And Greg Nicotero is just one of many people who have done it too.
The heroes behind the scenes that make it work.
True.
Yeah, and people forget about those guys. All the special effects guys, special effects makeup guys.
Yeah. You're going to find that
even the CGI people we don't like talking about sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to do the job to make it real.
There are times when you're short an actor, and then they bring in the crew member to pretend to be a person who walks around.
Yeah, just to fill in. Yeah. I made a short just recently, and I'm in it. I'll walk up to the man at the end and say, "What happened?" See, I got a speaking role.
Well, only because you put it.
Well, nobody else is going to do it. You weren't.
Of course not. I can't. I can't act to save my life.
I can't act. I'm not an actor. I'm the man behind the camera.
Yes. So, guys, you know our thoughts about the documentary series, guys, and I would like to talk more about it, but unfortunately, most of it.
We don't want to bore you by just meandering too much. So this is going to be a short one tonight.
Yeah, I think. However, for rating it wise, I'm going to rate it all of it, obviously.
Yeah, as a whole. As a good comprehensive series on different subgenres within the horror genre, you got to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a 10 because of its content.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 10 myself too.
Now, where did we go to get it though?
That's a good question.
Where do we get it? Now, we found it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can probably stream it from different sites if you can find it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can get it. YouTube.
Which
and you can get it on eBay if you want to buy it. I think on Amazon you can rent it or buy it, but it's not lots and lots of copies to buy.
Oh, yeah. Have you worked out which streaming site it might be in?
I don't don't do the streaming sites because there's so many streaming sites there. I can't check everybody. I'm not a member of everybody. So
Okay, so
look,
it might.
check out your favourite streaming sites for it. Eli Roth's History of Horror.
Yeah, it might be in Shudder or Netflix.
Yeah, you might find it there. So if you're already a member of it, have a look. You might get it there nice cheaply.
Nice and cheap. Cheap.
And if not, you've got the other place to go back to. But it is a really, really good special documentary thing, whatever you're going to call it. It does run for, I think, 19 episodes all up, and it's a good listen. And it's a good, I didn't know that, and lots of information and lots of behind-the-scenes crap and people's,
After watching that Suburbian type documentary, I thought it'd be more scary at this one, but no, it came off interesting, and it got me thinking of other movies I have not seen or bother to actually watch, because most of them go back many years, and most of them have either been hidden under the radar.
Well, yeah, some old ones there, and it's you go, ooh, okay, haven't seen that for years.
Or like
dust it off,
like Cannibal Holocaust,
which we'd never seen,
which we never seen before till now.
And what was the other one? The Green
Inferno.
The Green Inferno, which is a spin-off, wasn't it?
Yeah. As I was saying before Mike interrupted me, the point is, what I'm trying to say is that some movies are going to be under the radar. Like there was one other child horror type movie that I never heard of, but I thought it was also I think it was a European or from a European country.
I don't know. You're telling me the story.
Probably why I never seen it till now, because it was just a movie that was not wasn't released over here or released in America. Maybe it was maybe it was released on DVD or VHS. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, and it just got forgotten because it was it was a foreign film. And most time foreign films, they can just hide under the radar or hide under the.
Well, they're okay in Europe or whatever country were popular in, but I sent away for some Italian horror recently, some old ones, and I've seen some of them before years and years and years ago, and the other ones I haven't seen at all. So
there was also
really
one horror movie that kind of, I'm thinking probably even looking into it, called The Bay of Blood.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an interesting horror one, which kind of. It took place back in the 70s, around that time when Halloween and maybe Friday the 13th were making their, coming out, obviously, I'm not sure. But it was mentioned on Wikipedia, so I might check it out one of these days, obviously, like many other movies out there. It's just like when there are also a lot of Halloween, Christmas movies that are really, that were released back then but forgotten because.
What was that one we saw a couple of months back? The Christmas one.
I think you're thinking of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's a shame that such people picked at it before it, and never thought it was going to gain a fan base.
I thought it was good.
I agree.
And sequel.
The sequels were great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
icing on the cake, if you will.
That's about it from us, guys. You know where to find it, obviously, and watch it for yourself, obviously.
Yeah, but like I said, if you like informative programs, it's not really a documentary. It's a TV series with interviews and stuff about the genre, horror genre, and whatever. So it's really, really good if you like that sort of stuff.
True. So that's it from us, guys. You know what we are. I hope you guys enjoyed it, obviously, because
I did.
Because I know that this might come off as a second wing when we review things. We said years ago when we first started we would do movies, even sometimes books, whatever, do horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and other interesting things. This comes under the other interesting things. Yes, it does.
Okay,
so that's it from us, guys. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Thanks. See you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and I'll see you guys for our next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.